welcome everybody to the Southside Experience, episode 12. My name is Stefan, and I'm joined by my co-host Kylie, general manager of Southside Gaming. How are you doing today, Kylie?
I'm good. Hope all you guys are doing good out there. We got some pretty good news today from Lurkana, so I'm definitely good.
Nice. And then also joined by us is Devin, owner of Southside Gaming. How are you doing today, Devin?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to see my beautiful people here, and I'm excited to have a nice little pod today.
Nice. And last but not least, special guest, we have Justin, aka the Diz Dude. How are you doing?
Doing so well. What's good, everybody? Nice to see y'all.
Awesome. Welcome. And funny story about Justin. So up until I actually met him in person, I had always just as a funny thing, his name just kind of rolls off the tongue as like the diss dude. So I'm like, how is this guy? He is so nice, right? Who is he dissing? Like, and then someone, no, it's the Diz dude. I'm like, this makes sense. So that is my funny story before I met Justin.
Common misconception. It happens, especially if you're not like a conceived Disney adult.
You literally just taught me something new. I thought the same thing. I thought it was the Diz dude. I swear, I literally thought that was it. And I thought the same thing. I'm like, man, I've never been dissed by him. Like,
yeah, he's too nice, and two, if we need to recycle the name, we could probably head back into the Diz dude and make some mixtapes or something like that. So,
Diz isn't Disney, dude.
There you go.
Yeah, boom.
That's Kylie.
I gotta sign off right now. I failed. I failed so bad, boys.
More you know. I see you in chat, George. How you doing today,
George?
Awesome. But yeah, so today we'll be doing just like we've done the last 2 weeks. So our first segment will be Lurkana based. We have a lot to talk about. We just finished a pretty interesting Lorecast this morning. Did you guys get to watch it at all?
I did not. I was at work.
Okay.
I'm like on my break scrolling through like Twitter and Discord, just trying to find out like what the announcements were, because it seemed like there were more than I was expecting this week. So
for sure. Yeah. No, there's a lot. We got a chance to hear from Coop, aka Stephen Cooper, the senior tournament organizer over at Ravensburger. He had a chance to join Rochelle and Greg Tito to talk about more of the competitive stuff from that they're looking to offer for third parties. So, without further ado, we'll jump in on that. I think it's a great subject to talk about. A lot of people that we typically show to tend to be interested more in the competitive aspect of it. So here is one of the captured slides that essentially shows the path to Worlds for season 2, right? So I think the one thing that was a little confusing from the get-go was the connection between set champs and weekly play over to third-party supported events without invites, and third-party supported events with invites. So I'm willing to ask just to be completely clear, but I do not believe that there's going to be any association for performance at set champs and weekly play that will guarantee you or get you into the next stage. That's just a part of Disney Lurkana competitive play. If that's the level you want to play at and stay at, totally cool. I know there's a lot of people that like that level.
Yeah, I think this was just like a tiering. So right. Like the lowest tier is obviously your set champs and your weekly play, which is interesting because set champs used to be super competitive, but have kind of like since subsided. Mm-hmm. But then you'll probably have the third-party events. I think third-party events without invites would be underneath third-party events with invites as far as like tier structured, because it's definitely going to be a lot sweatier if there's a Nats invite on the line.
That's very true. Yeah,
so it's almost like without invites, almost just probably could be closer to set champs depending on the pricing,
right?
And then the invite events, and then obviously DLCs, and then LCQs, and then Nats, and then Worlds. So,
have either of you guys ever been to any of the like Gen Con events for like the play for the mats, for example? I haven't, but I'm curious to hear if any of you guys have gone.
No, I actually was gonna try this year, but it's actually it overlaps with the Japan Grand Prix. like the same time span.
Got it. Okay. Well, I mean, if the time permits, I'm sure that'll be interesting, but it does create a kind of dynamic here where if you are less available for events throughout the year, especially if you're trying to go to DLCs and you're also interested in going to a third party supported event with invites, obviously there's going to be more interest in going to those rather than like a Gen Con or stores that don't get it or events that don't get it. So I'm really curious to see how um if there will be continued support for like maybe something above just the mats, for example. Or I mean, if there's people who want mats, that's fine too. But I just realized that as we were looking at the slide. So
Well, they talked about uncut sheets and jumbo cards, so they're going
okay.
kind of like
All right, so
going
there's
kind of like a Yu-Gi-Oh route.
Yeah.
So I think, Devin knows. Devin's a big Yu-Gi-Oh guy. He knows what those uncut sheets and those jumbo cards bring. I mean, Devin, we have a Stratos one. How much is that Stratos one worth? And that's like a medium size.
Yeah, and it's a different language too. I believe it's like $950, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
wow.
There's a lot, for an example, there's a Black Luster Soldier one. Then that Joey and we were in California, and dude, like it's like they're like invaluable, bro. We offered the guy like 13 grand and he wouldn't take it.
Yeah. Some of this stuff, like, obviously Lorcana's gonna go on for a long time. So like if one of the first cards they give out is like, let's say like an Enchanted Elsa jumbo card, and they only run like 8 of them or something. I see Devin freaking out for that. He's salivating for that card. But cards like that in like 10 to 20 years, I mean, there's no price point you can put on that.
What would be really cool too is because it's Disney or if they take it a little bit more serious, if they add like texture or make it hollow, like in like an Enchanted. Because like the Yu-Gi-Ohs, they don't do that. It's just
they don't foil them. No, yeah, if they gotta foil them. That I think that's what can make them really stand out is if they put challenge Enchanted foiling on those jumbo cards.
Yeah.
But what I did like is like for some of the events I have seen popping up, the uncut sheets are random rarities. So you could get an uncut sheet of commons, an uncut sheet of uncommons, an uncut sheet of rares, super rares, legendaries, or maybe even enchanteds, and all just like mixed up. Because I mean, there's definitely not enough legendaries in a set if it's like one of for a whole sheet to be legendary. So
Yeah.
I think it is neat that it's like random. So it's not like a set sheet that you're playing for. And I don't know if they show it off like the day of the event. I don't know like the specifics on that, but I think it's cool that it's random.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh, they don't do like a full sheet, right? There's times where they do like 4 cards to a sheet, right?
Partial sheet. Yeah, I've seen that. Actually, you have one. You have one of those.
Yeah, we have one in the back, yeah,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Nice. I actually have an interesting question for Justin. So you have mentioned numerous times that this is your first TCG, right?
Yeah.
So do things like jumbo cards and uncut sheets, is that appealing to you? Like, would you go to a third party event for that?
Yeah, I mean, jumbo cards just seem super appealing to me because it's like something. I mean, I have like art all on my back wall here, you know what I mean? And that's just like a normal part of my everyday life. So getting to incorporate something I love and am super passionate about, like Disney Lorcana, that would be a huge win because that's something I can frame and put on my wall. And now it's like associated with all the memories. So I find that super appealing. Uncut cards, I guess I just have to find a bigger frame. I don't know, have that background that you guys do of like how much it goes for or like how popular they are. Like I couldn't contribute to that, unfortunately. But if you handed me a giant uncut sheet of Lorcana cards, I'm like, in my head, that's like poof, artwork.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about it too, right? Because obviously you can make the way you display it. But I think what's really interesting is that because it would be something that we've never seen before, especially in Lorcana, it would be a brand new market for it, right? So I think it would vary by game. Like for example, uncut sheets for One Piece, I think they go for like 10 grand, right?
Yeah. With the there was one with 4 mangas on it.
Yeah,
and that one like right in the middle, I think it goes for like 10 grand. And that's what's good about uncut sheets and like jumbo cards, because you have somebody like the Diz dude, not the Diz dude, that
I love
if you win that, you're gonna put in your house as like artwork, and it's like a memory for you. But somebody like like our sponsor player Alex for One Piece, if he wins something like that, that's a payday.
Yeah.
So it kind of encompasses like the collector and the competitive player, and it's like a kind of that happy median where it's like whoever wins it, they're happy because of what they can do with it in their own right, and I think that's important that they're kind of like getting into that now because obviously people want more tournaments. DLCs were announced to be lesser, right? There's only half, but if they sprinkle in a ton of these third-party non-invite events and then 24 or maybe even less, but let's say they give like top 4 and then they do, what is that like?
That would be 6.
6 of them?
Yeah.
They do 6 of them, top 4. But like it's just enough events. Like, I mean, you realistically could have an event every weekend, and if you wanted to drive or travel a little bit, there's something for you to do, and I think that's what's important is keeping people engaged with something to do, because if you look at between Nats in January and then Worlds, actually I wouldn't even count Worlds because that's really not for the general public.
Yeah, that was generally.
I mean, Nats and like where we stand right now. Without third-party tournaments, there's nothing to do. There's one set champ a set, and your local play with the organized play kit, and that's it. So this model done correctly could be really big for them to keep people engaged, and keep the health of their game overall like driven forward. And it's also good for data, right? Like when they banned Hiram and Fortisphere, had CCS and us and Ink and Safaris on all these places not do these tournaments that get 80 to 100 player turnout, they wouldn't even know that these cards were problematic. They would just literally be sitting in the dark. They'd be like, all right, well, imagine that. Imagine just from Nats to Worlds, none of those tournaments happen and are streamed and are recorded. There's really no data, like none. So you just see Hirams and Fortispheres all over Worlds. It would have been the Rat City there.
Oh my god.
It's going to be the Rat City in Infinity, it seems like,
Bro.
because we're going to be doing that format starting with no ban list. So I know that a lot of people that are interested in playing that format have already been dusting off their Hirams with their Fortispheres and getting that ready for that. So that sounds exciting.
This is who should have came back, boys. This is who should have came back. The fact that they unbanned the Rat and his sphere and they didn't bring my boy back.
Is that a playmat?
Is criminal. Yeah, but this is Craig did this, bro. Mattify.
Yo, throw that off because I haven't seen that. Yo, shout out to Mattify. That's fire. I want one.
Bro, you want that one, bro? They got him with Hiram too, bro.
Yo, I want that. That's nice.
I'll get you one. You want the Bucky one or the Hiram one?
No, I want. If I get the Bucky one, I'm burning it.
Oh,
I would never disrespect.
Tell me how you really feel. This is what you really need to burn. That's all I'm saying.
Yo, funny these. Bring that card back up real quick.
Let's show it off. There we go.
Yo, now that I understand the lore of this card, right?
That's a pop one.
Yeah, this is the greatest
Pop one.
I don't even know if it's a pop
10.
I don't even know if it's a pop 1 anymore, guys. I have to like check. And if it isn't, I'm gonna have to find whoever has the rest of them.
I want to know who
them.
I would love to meet
this
this
is the
guy.
pop.
I would love to meet the individual who actually sent that out for grading.
Sent
I want
that.
to ask
Yeah.
why.
If this is your card, look at the number. Look at the serial number. If this was your card, oh my god. Okay.
Actually, hashtag, dude. Yo.
I want to know who graded this card.
Yo, let's go search for this guy, all right, or woman, whoever it was.
Put a bounty, bro.
Yo,
Give like
guys,
a
on Twitter and say
money prize.
hashtag who graded this. Whoever had a conversation, invite them on the pod.
That's hilarious.
Why did you send that card? Why that card? Like, it's probably honestly, if you really think about it,
graded it.
it's just somebody's favorite character, probably.
Probably him.
What set is it? Is it set 1?
That's set one.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get people who will grade one of every card in set 1. I've seen like photos of it on like Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
That's true.
Master setting set 1.
Wasn't there
was
someone a couple of months ago that posted that they collected all PSA 10 set 1 master set? I think foils and non-foils.
even the
Oh, that's
Chiefs
crazy.
Louis.
Even the enchanteds, like the whole thing. I mean, if there's a set to do it, it's the first set that ever came out because that just it looks. I mean, it sounds like the value will just grow exponentially. I mean, they're essentially trying to equivalent it to like the Pokemon base set 10 years from now.
Except when they reprint it 100 times, and the value of the cards just goes.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, so I'm excited. I would love, obviously, I think I speak for not only the community down here, but the store itself. But obviously, we would love to be involved in any of the the CCQs that they're looking to do. It really looks like the great meeting point between I either am unable to go to a DLC, whether it's because I didn't get a ticket, or I can't make the travel, or the area is too far, and like I'm near a large enough game store that can host something like this. Comparing it to like in One Piece, is it called treasure cups? What is
Yeah, they have in-store treasure cups.
Okay.
John over at Guildhall, they actually have I think it's called a Pirate League tomorrow, and top 12 get invites to Nats.
Right. So like, and those obviously sound very engaging. I don't know what the numbers are off the top of my head because I don't particularly follow One Piece that much. I should, because out of just curiosity, but my thought was like, if I compare that closely to Lorcana and that was a way for me to go to Nats and it's a store 30 minutes away from where I live, I'm going. And I'm sure that there are people even on the West Coast that would come and go do that. So I think it's a really great opportunity to create some engagement at the store level. Again, we'd love to see a lot more Lorcana players, stay involved, especially if it's worth playing for, right? Like, just kind of like you mentioned before, we have set champs coming up, and I'll never forget the rush that it was that of the Stitch set champs, the Into the Inklings. You just can't recreate that anymore. Like that was just that was a moment lost in time.
That was the first time I met you.
Yeah, that's right. You gave me my my
Stitch,
third. You chewed up on my Stitch before you passed it to me. All right, that thing's not getting a PSA 10. It looks like someone got hungry before they gave it to me, but
bro, that was wild, bro. I was there till like 2 a.m.
Yeah, I was there too.
I was judging that thing, and that thing went to like 2 a.m.
Yeah,
I was like passing out. Like I was watching Red Purple Mirrors all day.
Where was that at? That was at
Guildhall.
Guildhall. It was at Guildhall.
Hosted the first set champs. Justin, what was your first set champ?
The first one I went to, actually, it was like an 81 person. I think it was this one. It was at a store called Cool Stuff Gaming. It was like 81 people. I had like my best tournament performance ever. I went 6-0 in Swiss and was able to tie in the top cut, and then like just completely bricked. And
no,
I was playing Blue Steel Wheel, and I wheeled the guy starting turn 6 into 3 B preps in his hand, and I got all characters. So it was like, here's 2 characters, pass B prep. Here's 2 characters, pass B prep. Here's 2 characters, pass B prep. And I was like, well, this game was fun.
Were you playing a guy named George? Perhaps?
No, I don't think so. I honestly couldn't tell you.
That sounds like a George Ray move. Triple B prep.
Wow.
They play like 6 in their deck.
They just slide them on over.
Yeah, bro. You're just like, dang, bro. How many? You're like, wait, wasn't that the 5th B prep? They're like, no. Drop it on the floor.
Yeah, it was a good time though. I loved going. I remember going like, I called out of work the whole week. And we just like went to every tournament possible that we possibly could. The boys would just hop in the car and we'd go.
That actually brings a really good question. And so set champs were very much farmed in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And it caused them to create the rule, which I believe should be changed at this point, that you can only do it on weekends. And that was kind of to curve like people like being able to attend a bunch.
Mhm.
So I wonder with these third party events, especially ones with invites, are they going to be farmed like as hard? And, is there a world where like to give people as much opportunity as possible, like let's say like we'll go with our hero Bivens here. Say Bivens goes to one, he gets a Nats invite. Would you like bar somebody from like playing more? Or you
Yeah, they would
think
just do
No,
pass.
you just pass it
you just
down.
pass down? So same
Yeah.
thing. It's like, all
Yeah,
right,
you just pass it down. Like, what are you gonna do with 2 invites? You can't sell one, can you?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. You could create collusion factors where you're like, hey,
You probably won't be able to get 2 invites.
Yeah, that
think-
doesn't seem very Disney
I
at
think
all.
Bivens, DKP, I think they could farm up 2 invites.
Well, you just brought up actually a cool point. I didn't realize this because I didn't play in the beginning. But you said that stores, the set champs were initially any day of the week, right?
Any day. Should be again.
Well,
Ravensburger, please.
Well, that's probably why
Please.
it was more competitive then, right? 81, because there was a lot of players farming them, right? Now, like think about it, right? Isn't it almost counterintuitive to have every store do it on a weekend, so multiple stores on the same day?
100%. That's what I've been saying.
So-
Like,
You know that?
I will say that this is the first set champs where they've extended it out to 5 weekends.
Big fan.
Opposed to what?
But last time it's been 4.
it's normally 1 month. They added,
Yeah.
so it goes into August.
So at least in our area, there's only 1 day where 2 stores chose the same day. So technically still farmable. However, it is the weekend, and for people, like myself with a family, it's really hard to make those events. Which it's a bummer. It's obviously easier in the week, but I'd love to see that, just like you said, Kylie, that restriction removed.
Same here. I mean,
if it modifies the numbers at all.
it's interesting, right? Because like measuring the data from the first set champs to what we have now, like there's so many things that go into it. Like, what is the Stitch card worth versus like what is like a Maribel worth, right? And so like how hard are people going to go for things like that? So I think the price support really matters, but then also the idea of the set champs is to help support the local stores, right? That's like fair to agree. What kind of traffic were we getting when we had it then versus like all on weekends? Because I know for me, like some of my stores that are local to me, which I'm very lucky because I have a lot of them, they have to host them either super late at night, and I'm there till way early in the morning, or they all end up having to host on the same day because they're already stuck trying to tier their Yu-Gi-Oh events, their Magic events, their Pokemon events, and now they have to fit Lorcana on the one day that's like convenient for all the other events too. So I'd hate to see different events in different communities, especially ours, get pushed to the side because we can't expand the schedule. Even adding in like 1 or 2 days during the week, I think could be like a big win for the community and the stores. Like do maybe a Friday or a Thursday just to give that extra little bit of like wiggle room. I know Lorcana Goons, for example, he's always busy on the weekends. So whenever Set Champs rolls around, you'll see him post like, dang, I can't make Set Champs this time around because I'm always working weekends. I really wish they'd go back to weekdays. And I'm sure there are a ton of other people in the same boat as well.
Shout out to Lorcana Goons.
Lorcana Goons. But
Yeah, shout out to Lorcana Goons.
But I agree with you on that. Like, I think another big thing is like communities are built in stores on certain days, right?
Mhm.
Like if your store does Lorcana every Wednesday, right? Why is it a far cry to think that you would want to have your set champs replace your regular local on a Wednesday when everybody is already used to coming out on that day?
100%.
And
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest detriments that they have. And then and it also can throw off LCS's normal schedules, right? Because if you're like, man, now like I have to table my Saturday, like let's say you do like One Piece on a Saturday. You're like, hey guys, I have to cancel One Piece this week because I have to do this event on this day. And that's again, like I think hopefully they hear the feedback and they kind of see that. But like Seven said, they did add another 2 weeks, 1 week.
1 week.
Yeah, 1 week.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Can I add something
Ready.
real
Yeah.
quick? Because like I actually wanted to bring that up earlier because there's a lot, like, we're blessed that we have the space to where we can have multiple events running at once. Let's even break it down even more to a micro level, right? What about having the amount of staff? Forget about just the space. Some stores don't have the ability to have multiple staff members run multiple tournaments, and on top of that, it's very intricate. There's not. It's I mean, you see what the team how we put it together, right? And then Stefan, in the crew put that together as well. Like that's a lot to it. So it's like having to do that for multiple games is hard. So like imagine a world where some stores they just miss the opportunity to even start creating like a Lorcana group over there or community over there because they're not willing to give up one of their biggest moneymaker days to host one of these events, right? So
or it's like this dude said, you have to put it super late at night because you're like, I have to get all my other things out of the way, and now we can do this, and then you just block out people that have to work the next day or don't want to stay up till 5 a.m. grinding out for a $30 promo card and one playmat because we don't get 2 playmats anymore. Yeah. But one thing I want to circle back to, I completely forgot to mention it. You guys, none of you guys play Magic, right?
Nope,
not currently, but I've played before.
Magic invites are not locked to a person. That was what I was getting at. I don't know if Lorcana said it, if I didn't catch it, but if you win like a regional championship qualifier and you get an invite, it's literally just a piece of paper given to you, and you actually could sell that paper. You could sell that invite.
What do they go for?
I have no idea. I don't know the black market.
That's how poker is too.
I don't know the black market on that, but that was actually what I completely blanked out. Sorry guys. That was what I was getting at. Like, are the invites locked? Like, if I win an invite, is it locked to me, or is it a paper? And then you just, you fill out all the details, and then you have an invite.
Yeah. Oh, definitely something we can ask Coop. He said to reach out to him on Discord. Okay. I don't think that's a detail that can be held back or anything like that, because obviously, if you're planning to make that event and you want to make sure that if you do get an invite, like, yes, what's the process? I want to make sure that I'm getting to Nats. So
yeah, because if it's locked, then it's just us for us to report.
Okay. If it's transferable, right? Like it is with Magic, then to answer the question we said earlier, that's where you see everyone farming it, right? Because
that's what I was getting at. Because
now there's money involved too. Because now you can sell it for it's gonna be worth money.
Yeah, because Cole brings up a good point though, that they probably will lock it because they're not going to want to have that, and then Disney's not going to want all that transferable, and people getting jumped in the parking lot for a fight, bro. Like Hector wins a Nats invite, he walks out back and he baseball bat to the knees real quick.
Yeah. Don't
win that. That's what I'm
in existence.
But why a baseball bat though?
That's the only thing that can take out Hector, bro.
Hector's true.
It has to be a metal one too. You use wood, the baseball bat's breaking, not Hector's legs.
There you go. Shout out to Hector. He couldn't make it today, but hopefully we'll see him next week.
Oh, they did they said it's not transferable? Cool. Okay, I guess I must have missed it.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right, that's good. So I mean that makes it clear, and then if anything that locks in the or what would assume to be like the pass down then, right? Like
so I guess like unless the participation and the other prizing that's given out is like insane, there may not really be like a super big reason to farm it. Like you get your invite, you're like, cool, I don't have to do any more of these.
Well, they did say that they will be using non-foil prize wall pricing for those events too. So, let's say at least you're interested in some of the playables, like the One Drop Pegasus, for example. I know a lot of green purple players very happy to see Pegasus getting a DLC promo treatment. So that's going to be one I feel like a lot of people will farm for.
But if you won a Nats invite already and you live in Florida, are you going to fly to Cali, play for some prize wall promos?
You're right. I can see that. I mean, unless you're like a diehard, like you got to go to these events, and if money wasn't a thing, sure. But everybody's goals and expectations in this game are very different, right? Like there's people who will take their one shot at a set champs this month, and if they don't get it, whatever. And there are people that will go to every single set champs, and whether it's they want to try to vie for the mats or the cards or just for the bragging rights, it's everybody's different. But I mean, ultimately, I think the summary is a lot of people are going to be wanting to play in as many events as reasonably possible, and as long as those events are offering pricing that makes sense, then there should that ultimately is what dictates what people find worth worth coming out for.
Yeah.
But regardless, I think it was great news. They at least in our space, a lot of the people that we talk to are more on the competitive side of things. So any news on that front is always welcoming. But yeah, I mean, another thing, are you guys ready to try to secure a ticket next week on Wednesday, 12 o'clock?
I took off work for it.
There we go.
I gotta go for 2 tickets, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people. Bivens gotta go for 2. Ray going for 2. Devi's going for 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. You gotta go for Europe and NA, bro.
You're talking. Okay, I'm sitting there. I'm like, why do you need 2 for? Before you go, I forgot. You guys are Mr. Worldwides over there. So
you gotta go for 2, bro.
Oh, Kylie's Mr. Worldwide, bro. Oh my God! Shout out to Celeste, yo.
Yeah, I definitely want to go to the Philippines if I can make that one happen. That was right. One I saw, because that's where my dad was born, and he passed. But that's one I've always wanted to go to, the Philippines. And I said, "Oh, there's Lorcana there. I might have to actually really try to go." I've never been out of the country though. Oh wait, no, I went to Canada. I lied. Other than Canada, I've never been out of the country. Does that count? I don't think it counts.
No, Philippines will be the first time. That'll be your first time. That's cool. That's like
yeah, got part of the flag on my arm right here.
Cool trip.
Oh, nice.
Okay. All right. Do you,
if there was so I would obviously love to go to the DLC in Italy. That sounds super fun. I am excited for South America and more specifically Brazil, given that I used to work for a company based out of Brazil. So I've been to both Sao Paulo and Rio. Loved them both, and I would love for another reason to visit. And I did find out while working with them that there are a lot of diehard Disney fans in Brazil. So
we get a lot at work because I work at Disney.
Got it.
We get, tour groups. We get people all the time. We know their seasons and when they're going to be there. I even learned some phrases in Portuguese just so I can give directions and stuff. They are big Disney fans, and I love it because they're so friendly.
I know that.
You work for Disney, bro?
It's almost like Diz stands for the Disney, dude.
Bro, what is going on, bro? I'm learning new stuff every second about you, bro.
I'm in Magic Kingdom guest relations, man. I'm at the core here.
Man, that's so awesome.
Come visit.
There's no way we haven't ran into. How long have you been working there?
8 years at Disney.
Oh,
2
there's
years
no
in
way.
guest relations.
There's no way we haven't interacted with you once.
I mean, if we'd have to complain.
I've been at all different attractions.
Complaining.
I'm with a few people that complain all the time. Huh?
Are you the complainer, Mr.
Easy money. I'll handle it.
Oh my God, I love it,
bro. All right, hold on. What's the craziest thing you can tell us that somebody's complained about at Disney? That you can tell us.
Okay, so it's not so much one singular crazy thing. It's just an act that people do. They don't know that when we scan their stuff, we can see a lot of info. We can see when they've tapped into rides because of their lightning lanes and stuff. And then they just like to try and tell wild stories where I already have my own story when I scan your band. So yeah. I get to see things that you don't know I get to see. And so I would never try to lie to a guest relations cast member. We'll just put it that way. Keeping it nice and simple. There's no reason for it. We literally took the job so we can help people. That is what we are there for. So as long as you feel a bit genuine and you actually had something happen to you, we can figure something out to help you.
Yeah, but you know what it is though? You guys it's like Chick-fil-A. You know how everyone has to say my pleasure? You guys have to always have a smile on your face.
Yeah.
You guys always have to be nice. So people
I do this thing. I smile the whole time, but then I repeat things back to you and I like make you re-say it like slower, like in the natural conversation. And as you're talking to me, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go now. I'm like, cool. I'm glad we decided this together. Have a great day.
Reverse psychology. You make them understand.
That
So
is
hold on,
amazing.
this is interesting now. So now that we know that you work at Disney, obviously, I mean, Kylie and you in the chat, you guys may be bigger Disney like my family were really big Disney people, right? We've been going every year. I used to go like 3-4 times a year, and we used to have the DVC.
Yeah, sure.
So my question is this: you had to audition, right, to be a cast member, or no?
Yeah, it's like an interview, just like a normal job interview.
Oh, I thought it was like an audition. Like I thought it was like
certain roles you have to audition for, like especially on the
Yeah, like as a
entertainment
character,
side.
right? Like a character.
When I first started working at Disney, my entire family was like, "Who do you hang out with?" And I was like, "I don't. I work at Star Tours." Like, I was like, "What?"
Oh
That's
my God.
awesome.
There's a lot. Is there like a lot of the? I mean, so there's like a lot of the behind the scenes. Do you get to? Is there like a lot of these? Is Kylie? Where's it? Underground? There's like an underground.
They call them utilidors.
Yeah.
If I could make one recommendation to people like who can afford it, it's not really expensive or anything, but there's a tour called the Keys to the Kingdom tour, and the full one gets you like a couple of rides, a lunch, a tour in the utilidors. It's really cool.
I took it. It's really cool.
For like those core Disney fans, like if you can like really relate to Walt's philosophies and stuff, like it's a very touching tour. Like you feel good on it. Well, at least I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was cool. You got to see all the parade floats, like where they hold them. Like
my girlfriend's a tour guide. She does that. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's a guest relations role.
Wow, bro. The more we talk, the more we learn about the Diz dude, bro. How have we not brought you on this before, bro? Stefan, what have you been doing?
I will say Justin was super excited to join us. So this definitely doesn't have to be the last time he's on.
No, this is gonna happen way more often, bro. We got
I'm about it.
Nice. Awesome. Jumping back on the rails a little bit, I'd like to kind of move into maybe a question more for Justin, but are you preparing for Set Champs this weekend?
Honestly, no. I mean, so what we do for Set Champs is me and a few of my friends will go from store to store, and our goal is to get like everybody one playmat. If we get one card, one playmat, we're usually happy, and then we literally just give everything else away. But it's gotten to the point like, because the pricing is getting better, but it's not worth like taking a day off of work for. You know what I mean? So it's.
The stores in your area, for example? So I'll just make a comparison to ours. So our last Set Champs, we provided additional pricing on top of the what was given to us. So we actually gave out 4 mats. The other SSG team members were able to acquire and donate the mats to the store to create a larger event. And we also added additional product-based pricing. Do you notice the same in your area?
I see both ends of it. I actually last Set Champs made I talked about a little bit on Twitter. It was you pay like $20 to $40 depending on the Set Champs. You typically would expect some type of support, but it's like 50-50 on both.
Oh, wow.
There's some that's like the only pricing they did. Like one store did a raffle for like a trove, and then that was it, but it cost like $30 to enter. So it's what is your time worth to you? Like for me, it's cool because I get to go and hang with my friends and play a game that I love, and that's like super cool. But I used to take off work to like go to these things, and that was like they felt super fun, and like you could earn your money back by getting extra promos and stuff. So I don't know, it's a flip of the coin. Like if I'm not doing any things on the weekend, I'll go, but I'm not going to prep super hard for them because I just feel confident where I'm at and like in my local scene. So I feel good that I'll get like one of each thing. And that's really the only goal. That said, we did have one Set Champs where we wanted to host a kids tournament. So we ended up winning 2 2 extra play mats and 8 extra promos, and we got to like do what you guys did and give that away as pricing to the kids. So their
Nice.
entry fees went all towards packs, and then we just like provided that as like for fun. And so you'd see kids getting like 2 booster boxes for winning, a booster box for winning, and now they got all these crazy different play mats and stuff. So whenever we're prepping for something like that, I love going to as many as possible because I like giving back. Like one of the things that I love doing is like doing like giveaways on my social media. I like when the community gets to like interact with those kind of things and like get prizes that they normally wouldn't be able to get on their own too.
Well, I didn't know you
That's
did
super
that.
awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know you did that. I'm sorry. Now I feel I want to follow your. I'm personally I want to start following your social because I love when when the community, especially like yourself, does this, and we would love to have you. I mean, we'll definitely talk after this, but love to have you on the pod more and get you more involved in this. That's cool. That's awesome.
For sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So we have our set champ this Sunday because we're doing we're having our second our second tournament for our first anniversary. So I'll be at the shop both days doing the stream for both. So I'll be missing set champs this weekend. But I do love and appreciate the people ops side of competitive card games. So like there is an enjoyment out of that. I probably will be trying for next Sunday though. I don't know what store exactly, but I think I have like 3 shots, right? And honestly, I'd love to do well on the first one because then there's pretty much no reason to go to the other 2. But that's kind of where I'm at personally.
See, you just said it perfectly.
Yeah.
If you get something, you just said you don't have a reason to go to the other ones. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that should never. Well, not should never, but I would hope that that's not like a forever feeling every set champs. You know what I mean?
No, the fabled set champs it's going down. And who said it? I think one of your friends said it in chat.
So now we're back on the grind.
There we go.
So
Set
now-
9 back on the grind for set
Oh
champs.
yeah, that's Sean. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's a great card and mat to play
Maleficent.
for. Yeah,
Incredible.
absolutely.
That couldn't have been a better choice. That's right up there with the Stitch pick.
Yeah. So we'll probably, and I hope it's not the only one. I would love to see more playable cards make set champs because I think that is an indicator, right? So like Ursula is great. I like Ursula in green purple decks. Stitch didn't get much time to shine, but since we're getting a reprint, we might get a second wind with Stitch. Rockstar, but the other set champ promos have just kind of been lackluster. I think the last one, and just kind of as a fun deck is the hero. I know that Devin was trying really hard with the blue green Floodborn, trying to put it together.
I really want that card. That when it first came, when that stuff first came out, and we were trying it, and there's a lot of fun decks, but then it just got like, I wish it would have. I don't know. Hopefully, when rotation happens, you
could do something with
I love that Enchanted, bro. It's so nice.
We need a morph reprint for that deck to work. We need a morph reprint bad,
or something like, or even like I guess you could.
Or a similar card to morph.
Yeah.
I mean, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think the card has to be super playable. I think it just has to be a card that people can get excited about, right? Like,
Sure.
Maleficent is not a staple in the decks by any means.
Mhm.
Ursula, not a staple by any means. Heck, even Pegasus, not a staple by any means, right? But these are cards that people are like, oh, this is a card that has been playable or is kind of playable, but it's just a card I like. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I think the community, you can see from different deck lists or just how people post on social media, the trends of like how people feel about certain cards. And I think it's pretty easy to see which ones are people like a lot. Like Rapunzel was a great promo card pick. That was like, it's a staple in the deck, but it's also one that people like got super hyped on it. Look at the price for that thing going up and down like crazy through the sets. But I mean, Beast Tragic Hero could have been a great one. I mean, these.
I pray on Beast Tragic Hero, boys.
Yeah.
I want that so bad. But you hit the nail on the head, bro. Like theming is important too, right? Like the Ursula one, it made sense.
Oh, I loved it. The theming is incredible.
Enchanted Ursula in the set. The Jafar one makes sense.
Yeah.
But he didn't get an Enchanted in the set. I liked Maleficent Dragon, but I felt like for Fabled, like an old school retro drawing of like Mickey Minnie, kind of like that carousel vibe.
Like Renaissance theme.
Renaissance, exactly. Renaissance. I think a Renaissance themed card, like just keep on theme. Like, same thing like Mirabelle. Shimmering was like when they first introduced like Wreck-It Ralph. It wasn't even when they first introduced Encanto. And so I feel like Wreck-It Ralph would have been like a better pick there. Or even make it like one of the carnival themes, because that whole set like was very carnival-y. So just have like whatever it was at the carnival. I think theming and, like you said, just a popular character is really there. Hero I think was okay. I think it would have been more impactful if there wasn't an enchanted hero already in the set. But I think like theming is like, new introductions of IPs and theming. Like for me, and this is just a personal hot take, but for me, Fable Set Champs not having a Goofy movie Set Champs with the Goofy movie coming out is a total like just drop the ball big time, bro. I mean, like that's like you just have it and you're just like,
I'll wait till I see like what enchanteds are coming out before I pass that judgment, because I also like, I mean, the pricing on cards is so different. Like when there's an enchanted and then there's also a set champ, because like what's the higher value card? I think they affect each other's value.
Yeah.
Significantly. So I wouldn't mind stepping away from the enchanteds and like separating the two. I don't know, personal opinion, personal preference.
I agree with you with that.
George
with the one liners.
He's that's a good one,
Yeah,
George.
That card actually looks sick. But imagine that card as the playmat and the set champ card, bro.
I think it's getting an enchanted. I'm just putting it out there. That's why I'm waiting. I think that's an enchanted.
I think
card.
that's the enchanted artwork on it.
That's what I thought.
It's good enough to be the enchanted artwork. If that's just the artwork on the regular card, bro,
I'm blown away.
Yeah, I'm blown out. I think that's the enchanted artwork, but we'll see. But I mean, if that was it, I mean, bro, you'd have a Stitch Set Champs all over again.
For sure.
Have Stitch Set Champs.
Or even just Powerline himself.
Yeah, Powerline. And even in the inclusions of little like trinket things to make it more interesting, like the spin down life lore counters. If Set Champs was like Powerline themed, and then they had like a Powerline one that maybe top 16 got or all attendees got, just like mixing it up a little bit. Where
it'd be cool, a trophy for first place. So you have to be like super expensive, but it doesn't have to be super expensive. Like I mean, you see all like the like the figures and stuff they have at Disney. I don't know. That'd be really cool though. Imagine like a Powerline car. Yeah. Something really, it doesn't have to be super like
tiny, like the size of my goat right here.
Yeah, something like this, like a little can,
Not probably small like this,
but something really cool you can display there. Like that would be really, really cool.
Little tiny guy.
Yeah.
That would be cool though. It just says like Set Champ something on it. I don't know. I mean, they're in their infancy if you really think about it. I mean, it's a brand new card game, so.
And they've already acknowledged they're going to try and get playable cards, and I trust them fully. So. Slow but steady, and as long as we get there, I'm happy, because I think this game's going to be around forever. And regardless of how I feel about certain things, whether it's good or bad, I'm going to play the game anyways because I love Disney. I don't know if you. By the way, Kylie, the Diz in the Diz dude stands for Disney. Fun fact,
bro. Mind blown, bro. Blown. And then you tell me you work at Disney, like
so,
bro. I literally go to Disney like all the time. I'm about to hit you next time in Atlanta. I might
go with you.
I might just pop in the.
Isn't that crazy how you didn't think that? Like, how'd you not think? How did that go over your head?
Because everybody introduced him to me as the Dis dude, and I thought his mantra.
The nicest people I ever met in my life. How can you?
I know, bro. That's why I said, I'm like, bro. When this guy gets going, he must be a savage. Like, this guy must like. This guy is like the toxic League player that like made me quit League back in the day.
I'll never play League with people I know. I won't because I am different.
Let's go play. What do you play?
I'm a support.
Let's go. Let's play.
Yeah, bro.
What's your rank?
He knows you now.
Actually, no, I did play with Mark. Never gonna stop. Ask him. I cook people. I like verbally cook people.
Oh,
actually, never gonna stop. Actually,
on your team or opposing team?
I don't discriminate. Anyone can get these hands.
Wow, bro. The
Yeah,
diss has come out, bro. The diss dude might be real.
it.
That's
Wow.
why I kept the
He's-
name. It
He's
applies
the
to both.
diss dude in Lorcana.
I
In,
love it.
in League, he's the diss dude. Like it's
Yo.
the dual name.
Yeah, it's like an interchangeable, jacket. You can turn, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
literally had someone pull up a replay because he tried to argue with me, and I said, "Let's do it frame by frame," and we
Oh,
did, and
I love you,
it was hilarious. And
I
I
wanna
forget what
see
I
it.
did to Mark, but Mark got cooked hard,
You know this
like
reminds me of?
real hard.
Mark
I feel like
Miller.
I feel like we just like took a shot to like break the ice, and now we see the real Justin. I love it.
Hey, it's only when I play League or like soccer. That's the only because I'm super competitive.
I
mean,
love
like,
that.
super
Yeah.
competitive. But any other time, you get the Disney dude.
The Disney dude.
Yeah,
It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Right here. We get both sides.
yeah, it is what it is.
Are you gonna play Riftbound?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's
what he's hanging out for. We're gonna be- he's- he was
Oh,
he wanted to, he said, before I jump on this show, I want to be sure that I'm also going to be able to pull out the Rift dude as well.
Oh my god!
what? Yeah, the Rift dude. What personality are you gonna bring to that game? Are you gonna be the fun-loving Disney guest service relationship guy? It's like, hi, how are you? What can? Oh my god, is it? Or are you gonna be like, bro?
No,
You
Justin's
suck.
going to be a Timo.
I destroy you.
Timo main.
TBD. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I play Teemo support when I'm like playing with local friends because it's like a lower level, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go mess with people. So
you
I'm
are
like super looking forward to Teemo even being slightly viable because I will.
Oh man,
I'll have my troll days and then I'll have my competitive days, but I highly looking forward to the troll days.
I love it. This is great.
Wow.
Oh wait, Mark put the story in. Hold on, I asked with Elise or when Elise got bad, and I said, I don't know, how long ago did you lock it in?
Oh,
Ooh.
oh,
Yeah, we cooked them.
Oh my
Rough.
dang, brother. This dude exists though. At least we know both personalities are real. But we weren't completely
I
wrong.
keep it real, period. I mean, I have no filter. Luckily, everything I say is typically nice in the way I think is typically nice because like when it's not, it still comes out anyways. So I just like I'm very lucky with how the brain operates.
That's awesome. So, I definitely want to get to our Riftbound segment because it sounds like we're all super stoked about it, and I definitely want to get into it. There's one last thing I want to talk about with Lorcana really quick, and it's a little unique, but I do want to shine some light that we have Kylie heading over to the Japan Grand Prix number 2.
Let's go,
so
Kylie.
He got all the details that he needs. He is hyper focused. Doesn't like he's excited about Riftbound, but he doesn't want to think about anything other than set for Disney Lorcana. So I kind of wanted to ask some questions because it's Kylie, it's you, Devin. Are you're ready to rock
for what? Japan?
for Japan?
I wish. I don't think
I
I'm gonna be
pray,
able to-
bro. That comes, bro.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it.
Oh well, I hope that if you get a chance, you get to, because I heard it's going to be super awesome. But so who the crew that's going with you, Kylie, highly supportive. Different state of mind over there because it's a new language, right? So you've been kind of brushing up a little bit on some simple Japanese.
Yeah, they got a little more complicated. So when I had originally thought that, following the tournament rules, because the set 4 releases, Ursula releases July 12th, which 2 days. I think that in America it's like 2 weeks, right? Have to go by before it's tournament legal. And so I originally thought I was playing set 3. So I'm building red purple, and I'm like, all right, red purple. Like it's not my deck. It's never been my deck.
Yeah,
but
it was tier 0.
Ray's putting me in the tank. I'm like, all right, Zach showed me like a list. He's like, yeah, bro, just run this. You'll be fine. Like player draw, best of 1. And then, like the signups are like kind of challenging because it's a lottery system. So you have to sign up for an account. Then you just kind of throw your name in a hat essentially. And there's no details. There's just like, we'll tell you on this day if you're in the event. And so then I got the email back. I was in the event. They processed everything, and like you can ask. I'm asking Stefan. I asked Dick from the Forbidden Mountain. I'm like, yo, because he went to the first one. I'm like, yo, is this at 3? Is this at 4? Like, I'm trying to figure out like what do I need to practice. And finally, Stefan actually found the information. I don't know who put it out, but it was, they confirmed set 4. So I'm like, all right. So I locked in a deck, and I've just been grinding hard. Yeah, Bucky, never gonna stop. Bucky is eroded. Hiram is still legal though, and so is Force Fear.
You know what this reminds me of, Kylie, to add, because I want to actually add to a point you made. It reminds me a lot because for those of you that know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, so I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but I don't play I don't play modern. I play a format called Edison, and it pretty much it's very similar to what we're experiencing now. You're experiencing now, set 1 through 4. What's really cool is that the the games the rulings of the Edison format aren't current rulings. It was rulings that ended at the specific time period, right? But what's very interesting is that a lot of the players that won like nationals or even these major Yu-Gi-Oh events during that time period are at the shop, either where they work for us or whatever. So the point is that as I'm playing with them now, they would tell me how the decks were back then and what the meta was back then. But when over time the ideologies evolved and it created new metas within that time period, right? So what you're doing right now is very similar to that. You're going back and say, oh wow, we didn't realize, we didn't have enough data that this was better, and it would probably be even better back then, right? So that's what it reminds me of. It's really cool that
You know who talked a lot about that? Ray.
Yeah,
Ray he's like, I don't know why no one realized Chernobog's Followers was a fantastic option.
Dude, Lawrence. Look how much we slept on Lawrence.
Yeah. Lawrence was very like I've been doing like deep diving into those lists, and it's actually very different too, because I noticed that I think Mark and George said like my first go-to idea was actually green yellow, because I played that deck before. Discard's obviously like a style I'm used to, but it's best of 1. So like when you look at like certain cards, like Bare Necessities is a good card. It's not as good on the draw as it is on the play. So when you build a deck for best of 1 format, it's actually very different. So I actually tested a lot. I have to thank Ray a lot, Zach, even Robbie helped me out a little bit. Jack has helped me a lot, Hector. We kind of ran through the decks, and green yellow kind of has a hard time on the draw because there's so many cards that they kind of use on the play. So yeah, the decks you do play need to be more consistent, a lot more 4-ofs, a lot more like you're just trying to do the same thing. So I'm actually locked in on green steel, no Bucky. And it's I think that like people got off the green steel because there was no Bucky, and I just think they immediately were like, all right, yeah, forget this, and they didn't like explore it enough.
For sure.
And like the testing I've had with it into all the other decks in the meta have been really good. I mean, it's pretty good into red purple. It's very good into Steel Song still, surprisingly, because
Ursula,
yeah, Ursula eats them.
So good.
It's good into the old red blue because they don't have powerful ramp cards, right? They don't have Tipo and they don't have Sail. So their ramping is actually depleting their hand. So they're turn 2 playing 1 jump, and then their turn 3 playing Fishbone, taking a card out of their hand. If you go first and you play Ursula and you take their 1 jump, you really, really can put that deck behind.
Well, not just that, but even like they don't get to establish their board. Like Tipo is a character you can play, but also ramp you. You get a board presence with that. And there's not a lot of cards from those previous sets that will allow you to do the same thing. So in a deck like Green Steel, I mean, you can get that like aggressive edge.
Yeah. There's a lot of utility, like Muses, 4 Muses is just super powerful in that format because it's wardable. and double sing Ursula. Like if you go double sing Ursula on 3 into a Muses on 4, forget what if you have a shifted Diablo out, or even if you played a little Ursula on 2, you're able to sing a removal spell or even a discard spell, get double value out of it, and then get 2 Muse triggers for something like a Steel Songs deck. Like you could put damage on a Lawrence, draw a card, bounce it, and then kill something and bounce something else, all just by Ursula singing a song. And I think it's actually the same deck that we run like almost today. It just doesn't have Pete and Shift Pete. Like it's literally almost the same cards. You have your Diablos.
What was I playing against you, Kylie? With the
Devin had a set 5 deck. He just didn't want to. He had a current set meta deck.
Yeah.
And I had the set 4, and I still 2-0'd him with it. I mean, it's just super powerful,
super suppressive.
Blue Steel. Blue Steel's probably the hardest matchup for it, but Blue Steel has is very hard into red purple. So I'm not sure how many Blue Steel. That's the one deck I'm scared of is Blue Steel. For you guys, I see you guys talking about Blue Steel in there, but red purple's so prominent still, and I think there's gonna be so many people on red purple that it kind of can at least subside the Blue Steel decks a little bit.
Yeah. But
unfortunately, a lot of it's gonna be die roll dependent. Especially the Steel Song matchup. If they go first and they get a Cindy out and they just kind of curve out on me, and I can't control the board, and my Diablos can't make it or stick, you're gonna lose that matchup. But again, it's super the decks are all built very differently for best of 1. So I play 4 Cove. Normally in a best of 2, I would never play 4 Cove. I would just
giving out all the sauce.
Yeah, bro. If you got
how confident he is as playing that deck, it's really good to be a well-known player with one specific deck and knowing that what I play.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be able to outplay you.
Yeah.
Cooked red purple.
That actually made me think of another question too. I guess more of not really a question, but these other countries that are going to have these events, I'd be curious to see the percentage of where everyone's from. Are the majority of the people in the event from that country? How big of a percentage are we getting people flying overseas? That's all, especially with less events this year. I'd be very curious to see that data at some point, if it ever becomes public, which I doubt it ever will, but it's just my curiosity brain going crazy.
I'm gonna try to record as much as I can of the venue, take some videos, and then I looked it up. I'm still gonna pop on the podcast when I'm over there. It'll be early morning for me, and it'll be late night for you guys. But yeah, I mean, if I do get swayed to another deck, it would be Blue Steel. But the only thing in my head is the amount of hours I have on Green Steel as a whole versus the amount of hours I have on Blue Steel. I feel like that can just kind of push me over the top.
I agree.
Just knowing the lines, knowing how to get out of certain situations, playing to my weaknesses. I never really played Blue Steel. I think I tried it one time when Devin was a big Blue Steel guy.
Yeah.
In fact, I beat him down so hard with Bucky when he was playing Blue Steel that he actually quit the game.
I did.
He actually quit Lurkana because of Bucky. Because
that card
he played 20 games straight.
Yeah.
I don't think Devin won a single game.
Bro, it was so dumb.
And he was screw.
There needs to be a card that does something to wards. I'm telling you,
hopefully soon. That'd be great. I wouldn't mind that either.
Remove all ward.
Steel Song player speaking here.
For one turn, an item or something, or some or even a character, right?
On play Pete with now that we're on that topic, an on play effect Pete has that could fizzle all card abilities would be pretty sick.
Yeah,
that blue bell, the uninkable 4-drop that's a 2/3 quest for 2 gives everything ward.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to be the opposite.
The opposite, yeah. Just
For
take
this
away
turn,
all of
remove all wards.
every
Right.
card is a vanilla until the start of your next turn. So like
Oh.
Ursula doesn't double sing.
I mean, let's
Usually doesn't have ward of bounce.
think about this, right? What makes all these like Muses, Bucky, Prince John,
PJ the GOAT, bro. That
PJ,
card
bro,
is so
annoying,
impressive. Like
bro.
that card can just win you games alone. Like I like there's been games where I do nothing turn 1. I play an Ursula on 2, I whiff. I play a PJ on 3.
Coggy-poo, yeah,
And then on 4, I play like a Muses. On 5, I play a Lucifer, like
ridiculous.
hit 2, sing a chill, and then they discard like 3 cards. I draw 3 cards, and it's just like just by playing a card they can't interact with except for Grab Your Swords. And even if I get them in the Cove, Grab Your Swords is like
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter.
Dead
But
card.
that card is just so impressive.
it's just
And
ridiculous,
then,
bro.
yeah, and I mean him with Under the Sea is just oh my god.
Yeah.
I wish Under the Sea could work in green steel, but
I got teched for that at in a side event for DLC Seattle. I was in my last round playing against Green Steel. Thought I was playing a typical deck. Established a massive board. He had nothing, and he just hard casted under his one of Under the Sea, cleared out my entire board, and he was able to stabilize.
do you know why I really don't think it's viable in the deck? There's only one difference.
What's
And
that?
it's we don't have aerial in green steel. We don't have a search.
Yeah, you have to.
'Cause you can't play like a 4 of that card in green steel. There's so many uninkables already,
Yeah.
and it's just hard. Like there's no way to like find it. Ariel will find that card, and if she doesn't
When
find
you
that
need
card,
it,
I
right,
will
yeah.
bounce her back with Muses, and I will try again.
Right.
But in green steel, like you have to kind of rip it, and it's almost like a B prep situation. But red, purple, and red, blue again, they have better. They're drawing better, and they if you play like visions and stuff, you can find it. So if ever a card was printed in green steel that like kind of allowed you to find that, then I definitely think you would see some green steel Under the Sea, and I think that would be super impressive. But I think that's the only edge really that yellow green kind of had was Ariel can find your outs, but the other cards just don't match the power of the steel cards, especially moving forward. Like Pete's just insane once you get to set 5. I mean, Pete just makes it crazy. But yeah, I'm practicing a lot. I actually know nothing about Riftbound. I've like refused to learn it.
Focus on what you're working on. Like,
Yeah.
focus on that.
Riftbound doesn't even come out till the end of October. You have plenty of time.
Yeah, no,
Focus
I'll
on
be as soon as I come back. Put the Japanese deck in the put it in the bookshelf back here. Let it collect some dust, and I'll play Riftbound. But I'm hoping to go there and really just want to try to top. Try to get some Japanese promos for the store.
Content.
Japanese Rapunzels, get some content. And I told Stefan I'm gonna win him a mat. So Stefan wants that Rapunzel mat more than anything. So
I
You're
tried
real
so
one.
hard last season.
I'm gonna try.
That's a
I'm gonna
tough
try
one,
my
though.
hardest. Man. Hector told me he's gonna give me a loaded die, some My Hero sleeves, and we're there, boys. We're there. Except in Japan, it's all coin flips, baby. I told him. He told me I need a coin with double heads. But the Japanese, learning it, this will be my 3rd time in Japan. So learning the Japanese isn't too hard. The deck is more complicated. Like when I was originally playing red purple, it's super simple. Challenge, draw, there's not much you're doing. This is a little more complicated because you have to say, you're double singing with Ursula. They have to discard a card, where your damage is going, what you're bouncing. Lucifer's another card that I've had to practice a little bit because, if people don't really know what Lucifer does, I can spin the card to show it to them, but, I have to be able to communicate. So picking the deck made it a little bit more challenging just because there's more communication that has to be had, especially with timing and triggers. But, I feel confident. Green Steel hasn't done me bad, or it hasn't wronged me the entire time I've really played it, except for my match against Mark in top 8. Yo, That was a rough day.
He showed you who the
Actually-
green steel daddy was.
Actually, that was
Oh my
that
god!
was the second time. The
The
first time was actually my first DLC. I was in top 32. Yeah, he knows that day. He knows that day. But my first DLC, I'm in top 32. I was running hot with Green Steel. And I went up against Chris Oyola. He had to play. He was on Steel Songs. Game 1, I literally almost took him. I kind of misplayed where I like left a Robin Hood alive. Five cost. I wanted to take the last card out of his hand. I could either get rid of the Robin Hood or remove the last card in his hand. I'm like, let me just rip the last card out of his hand. He top decked a wheel,
Ooh.
sung it, and I actually lost at like 19. Like I kind of drew into nothing, and he just drew all gas. Game 2, I obliterated him. I mean, I went Bucky. I double Buckied him, and then the rest is history. Game 3, he mulliganed 7, and I was like, okay,
You felt pretty good.
yeah.
at
I'm
the
like,
moment.
yeah, this is good. And I'm like,
That 7 was
Come on,
perfect.
baby.
Move.
I'm like, if I get a Bucky and I can just obliterate this hand. So all I kept was a 3-cost Diablo. I'm like, 6 back. Let's see what we can do. My hand was 3-cost uninkable Diablos, 3 Storms,
Oh no!
and a Baboon.
Oh,
And I
no.
actually kind of was crawling back. But like I played it, he just hard casted, killed it. I'm like, okay. Play the next one, hard cast, killed it. I'm like, okay. Play the third one, it's stuck. I dealt with his board. He had 1 Cinderella out that I could not deal with, and he had 1 card in his hand that I could not remove, and he shifted Big Cindy, and I just could not. I like couldn't find a Bruno. I just couldn't take it off the board. But I think the time against Mark and that time at Texas, really the only times the deck just kind of left me lacking. But other than that, Green Steel's, it's always there when you need it.
Mhm.
Bet you never forget to take out the singer against Steel Song now, huh?
No.
The 5 cost.
That Mark
That was
got me one time with that too. Like there's nothing I could do. He had 1 card. This game's actually on stream. Mark was holding on to that damn 1 card, and I just could not get rid of that card. I'm like, I didn't know what it was. Like I haven't seen his hand or anything. And I mean, I'm just top decking. I'm like, man, what is this? Like he's just passing with this 1 card. I'm like, I'm thinking it's a wheel because he's 4 ink. He has no way to sing it. And I'm just like, let me just get this wheel out of his hand, because you'd think he would just ink it because I would discard his hand. And then finally he shifts that thing. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. And that card is like, that card is like Green Steel's biggest weakness. Like that card is rough, bad. If you don't have a Bruno immediately,
Yep.
that card just eats you. Like,
And he knew it.
oh yeah, I totally forgot too. Like it just like left my mind that if you play a song, it can hit a ready character. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna leave my stuff standing. Like
I'm safe.
I'm chilling, and then it's like, plays like a
Zeus.
strength, and then it's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill your standing Prince John, and I'm like, oh yeah, that card does do that. It does do that. The biggest punishes I think I've ever had are like not killing shift lines, like where I'm just like, I'll check Stefan's hand. He's done it to me too. I check his hand, and I'm like, he got no Robin in his hand. I'm gonna kill the Cindy. I don't want him to have the 3-cost Cindy. Top decks the Robin Hood, shifts it, sings the wheel. I'm like, you son of a gun. Every time. And then when I'm looking for a shift line top deck, I'm like, oh, I got the Morph out. Can I get the Beast? Can I find the Beast one time? Or I got the Pete. I'm like, yo, can I get the big Pete? But no, Mark, Stefan, they're just like, here you go, baby. Bruno or bust.
Awesome. Well, we definitely wish you luck. When are you flying out?
The 22nd.
Okay, so we still have you for another episode or 2.
Yeah, one more. I think one more next week.
Mhm.
And then actually we're gonna be at SuperCon over the weekend. with Nicholas Children's Hospital doing charity event Learn to Play.
Oh, nice.
It's gonna be a SuperCon. Come find us there if you guys want to learn any different games. We're teaming up with Miami TCG. And then I think like 2 days later, I think that's when I go.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, I know. Like I've seen you. Like you were in the past, right? Like just focusing on those 4 sets, and obviously wishing you well, and keeping the practice. And there's one thing I will say about Kylie is when he's locked in, that he is locked in. There could be a hurricane happening behind him, and
noise is gone. Actually, I think I'm playing
this card.
I think I'm playing the deck at Set Champs.
Yeah,
I think I'm playing set 4 at Set Champs.
that would be wild.
I think I'm going set 4. Don't
Do it.
don't bully me, guys. If you play against me at Set Champs this weekend, but it's either that or I just play like Diggy, just something mindless that doesn't like mess with my head. But I'm not gonna play the current version. So, but hey, I mean, imagine I take down the Set Champs with set 4. Set 4 build. The biggest cards, honestly, that are a problem that came out are Pete and Elsa and Genie. Those are like obviously Shark, whatever was Shark, but those are kind of like the big issue cards. I think that kind of came out and like really make it harder.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Pete, just a random Pete inserted, just kind of waste your turn where you're like, all right, I was gonna do this and sing that and bounce that, but now I'm just kind of playing a body. Shark just walling your board. Genie giving him such advantage, and then being able to freely kill Diablo. And then Elsa just, oh my God, Elsa just being able to tap the damn bird and kill it freely.
Just put it in the cove. You have 4 of them.
Yeah, 4 codes, right? Yeah. Bro, you know what's crazy? And I had to get the ruling on this. Multiple coves is not bad. Cause like red purple like is very much trying to kill that cove because it's a problem for them. Like they can't brawl your stuff. Like it makes your stuff better than their stuff. And if you have like if they're putting like it all on one cove, you just switch, like you just swap right over to the other cove, and you just abandon that one, and it's like, all right, now I got to kill this one.
It's no longer hidden. They found the cove,
and so I had to clarify this. If Diablo has like 2 damage on it at a cove, and I move it to another cove, it doesn't die. There's no interim in between.
Because the game state check happens after the character's moved, which is when the damage is checked.
Yeah, so you literally just like you're like, yeah, my Diablo's like on his last limbs. This thing's got 4 damage on it. You got like a fox out. I'm gonna shift this guy over here, and now even if you play another fox, you're not taking this cove out. I think there was one game against Ray. I had 3 coves out, and I was just zigging him through the coves, and it was almost to the point where he just wasted his time trying to hit those stupid coves, and I'm just like.
Diablo with 2 damage. I didn't hear no bell yet. Awesome. Yeah. So, so with that being said, I do want to wrap up our Lorcana segment. So, Kylie, you're more than welcome to stay if you want. If not, you can go, I guess, put some more reps in.
Yeah, maybe we'll go prior. I'll peace out because I literally I don't know anything about Riftbound, and I'm almost like it's gonna be like exciting for me when I come back to really like ask Devin and Skinner and like all these the amount of Riftbound these guys have been playing is insane. Insane.
I think you should come back and do an episode about it and ask all those questions live, because there's going to be a lot of people who haven't seen like a lot of Riftbound stuff before. So I think the content's super relatable. Yeah,
we actually made some content. So there's a world where I guess we could even like play some of that stuff in, and I can just like ask questions and like because I don't know anything. I don't know. I know the resource system and I know the characters, but other than that, I have no idea how the game plays. But I know you guys are moving into that. I appreciate all the love and support. I will definitely be on the pod next week. If you guys are local, and you want to grind some set 4 practice with me on your best set 4 deck, I'm more than happy. I definitely need some more blue steel and probably red blue practice a little bit. I've done a ton of red purple, green yellow, mirror match, and steel song games. But yeah, I'd be more than happy if you guys want to come and grind some games. So maybe we can even get it on stream. Get some OG games on stream. Let Japan see the sauce before it comes over there and tears them apart. Let them see that 4 Cove lineup.
That's awesome, man. Well, definitely have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
We'll catch you. Are you in the shop at all this weekend?
Yeah, I should be there. I'll definitely be there Sunday for the event. I think I'm gonna try to do. I might try to play Guildhall on Saturday.
Okay.
Try to win so that our first and second place can have a mat.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because we start where ours is the first week. Maybe something for planning for the next one if we want to try to do it later and try and
push it later. I think we did it earlier this time because I think we have a lot of stuff planned.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
So ideally we try to actually do it at the very end. This time it just didn't, anniversary events and a lot of things. So, but if we can bring home one extra, at least it'll be like a normal set, like an old school set champs where first and second get it.
That's super awesome. And I love that SSG does that, right? Like the pricing that the players get goes right back to the store and right back to the players, and just doing, we kind of just do it like, again, just to create that great play experience for everybody who comes to the store. So wishing you luck, Kylie, and any other SSG sponsored players heading over to Guildhall on Saturday.
Yeah, one tournament I really want to do, I'll leave everybody with this. If I can manage to get like a Japanese Rapunzel, Cindy, or Let It Go, I kind of want to do a tournament for it at the store. Best of 1 set 4 meta. So y'all can play what I had to play to earn that card.
That's fun.
I'm gonna try to make that possible. I'm gonna try.
Just
that's
win.
Gonna be like burned in my mind. Like I have to at least get 1 card so that we can have this one tournament. Because I think it'll be really fun. I think people enjoy it. It feels refreshing to kind of like go back in time a little bit. And it's almost like nostalgic in a way. Like people can be like play a deck that is not as good anymore. Play with cards that aren't as good anymore. And so yeah, stay tuned for that. As soon as I know, you guys will know. And if I win a card, you guys know you're gonna get to play for that card.
Hell yeah. Sounds awesome.
All right. Peace out. Love you guys.
Awesome. Take care, Kylie. All right. And then there were 3 talking about Riftbound. Okay. So, first off, have you guys seen the reveals? Okay. What? Give me a card. Tell me what you want to talk about.
There's a Twisted Fate.
I knew it. That's really why I was asking, because I knew you were going to call that one out first.
Yo, Twist. I love what they're doing. If you could pull, I don't know. I don't know if you want to wait to pull them up, but how close they are bringing the mechanics from the game, which is crazy to even say because it's not a card game, but like they literally are bringing their abilities and what their kit from League of Legends into a card game. It's so cool. So cool.
Yeah, it is. And just give me a moment. I'm just getting the graphic ready right now.
Divine Judgment too. I'm a big Kale player, so love Divine Judgment.
I'm gonna throw it on this
it's so dope
here.
Bro.
There we go. And I'll maximize it too. It's a little So these were the reveals that day.
So
yeah, I in particular am a pretty big fan of the luck aspect of it, right? I think that's why I'm a Steel Song player, right? Just like playing wheel, hoping to get like a solid grip after playing it, but like these kind of mechanics are what I'm drawn to. So I think it has really good stats too, fair cost or fair strength, and then what's going to be super awesome. I feel like Twisted Fate's going to be super awesome if you're playing a deck that is utilizing remind me of the battlefield that has ganking on it.
Oh, I don't know the name.
Yeah, the names of the cards I'm not super great at.
Right. I remember a lot of their abilities,
Yeah.
but in particular, just getting more opportunities to attack. You know,
I
again with
see.
great stats too, like just being able to constantly do that ability is just super awesome.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of like Ariel, how the more cards that just come out, the better this card gets.
True. Very true.
Well, what I find really cool about Twisted Fate is when you see the mechanic where it's 3 different depending on what rune you do, right? So it's really cool is that obviously since there's only 2 rune combinations, that you're going to be able to depending on the color, like only one of them's going to be obsolete, right? So it's going to be really cool, you know, where he's the versatility of them, I think is really amazing.
For sure.
I
think Mark mentioned it, the Windswept Hillock.
Okay, yeah. Boom.
But yeah, like those types of effects are super awesome. So here's the thing. If I were, because I'm 99% sure I'll be starting off with the Jinx main. But what the interesting thing here is what happens if you play a deck that only utilizes one of these rune colors, right? So the Jinx deck is red purple, right? So what happens if I flip a purple one, right? Is it just a dud? Am I locking myself into playing champions to get the full value for Twisted Fate by only playing like red blue or like blue yellow or red yellow? So those are like, I have to see what the champ composition is for those. But I'm curious, like obviously if you're playing a legend that are those 2 colors, like is this an auto include? Especially given like, you know, draws in any card game, draws great. So like are my blue legends going to be utilizing this card?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I'd like to see more cards because you look at like some of the Ari decks that will be dominantly one color over the other, and it just might be sprinkled in with. I mean, the best representation I can make is like Lorcana. Sometimes you'll see like all purple decks and then have like 2 to 4 like steel cards in there. You know what I mean? Like, and I think this game within the first 2 to maybe 3 sets is going to have that same idea where you're able to build a deck a certain way to help with that statistic of how often am I flipping off the top to be able to like hit this ability. But obviously,
Yeah.
blue sky, perfect world, it would run 2 of those colors.
Yeah,
for sure. Any other reveals that have come to mind? I saw chat mention one of, I think it's the Judgment one, the
Kale,
Divine
what's your
Judgment. So
Yep.
let me
Card-
look
so
at it
cool.
really quick just to recap. Isn't that like Ink Geyser? To me, it reads a lot like Ink Geyser. It just like resets everybody back to permanence.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound fun at all. Especially like I feel like Volibear players right now are sweating a little bit if they see this coming.
If Mustache is if he sees this, there you go, Mustache.
But yeah, that's a solid card. I mean, like, yeah, if you're in a oh crap moment and you gotta reset some things, definitely something that I would be including. And you said so again, you have to forgive me, audience, but I am not as in tune to League of Legends as my guests are here. But who's old did you say this was? Kale? Okay.
Kale.
And in the game, what does Divine Judgment do?
So I mean, I can even pull up, but pretty much it's an ulti to where you could choose it on yourself or an ally, and they don't take any type of damage or any type of let me just bring it up so I'm not botching it. So I can give you the exact terms they use. All right, so Kale makes an allied champion invulnerable for 2.5 seconds, and then purifies the area around them, dealing damage. So pretty much damage, magic damage to nearby enemies.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess the relevance between it is that, you know, I want to say it's like it's like you said, resetting, right? Like you're almost like resetting the game state. So you know, it's almost like you're resetting, giving the opportunity to reestablish a fight or reestablish positioning in league, right? Where you could it makes a huge difference where you know you could save a champion from dying or you know. It's important. It's very important in league because if a champion, I don't know, you as you know, Stefan, everyone knows if a champion dies, like depending on the game state, it's you can lose the game by instantly.
Yeah, so keeping a critical champion or regular unit for that matter in the game, right? So like I'm thinking if you're facing an opponent that maybe has like a lot of hard removal and you've got like your boss monster out on the field and you just want to ensure that thing stays alive while they're trying to stabilize. The Divine Judgment's a solid card to pick because you can choose that unit and like either a supporting unit or to keep at least one of your runes in play, so that way you can start to reestablish the board with your own units that are, you know, let's say you do 1-1, so you'll go from 1 rune to 3 to 5. So probably trying to follow up with a similar curve with like a 3 cost and a 5 cost after that, but.
Yeah, I think this card could be really good for closing out games. Because you'll know it's a spell. It's not an action or a reaction. So this one can only be played on your turn. Obviously, it's like when you hit your max runes, max energy, you're able to tap those and then close with this card. So in the yellow field, you have like, I'll just use Victor as an example, right? Because he's blue-yellow, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you have those characters that are generating all these different like micro units. The what's the word I'm looking for? Help me.
Skinner calls them Doombots.
Doombots. Okay, that's like yeah, that's basically it. So you got all these like little guys with the little 1 might. So you make your trade, right? That 5 might character that when he's banished or killed, you create like 3 tokens inside of your base. Doing stuff like that, and then just like saying, okay, here I play this, pass to my opponent. You can play like maybe 1 unit. I get to close the game the following turn. Playing it outside of that could, like if you play it too early, I think you could get punished on this card.
Sure.
Because then you're passing the tempo over to your opponent. So I can see this card being really good, but it's also kind of scary because I could also see it sitting in my hand for a really long time, waiting for the perfect moment to play it. Because if you're trading 1-for-1 pretty much every showdown, and then you transfer tempo to your opponent by giving them an energy advantage, I can't imagine that'd feel great. Obviously, I haven't played this card, so it's really hard to say. But yeah, I think it's an overall really good card. But I think it's balanced, honestly. Like because there's gonna be like a lot of time where you won't be able to use it.
For sure. Yeah. I'm definitely excited to see the type of play. What you've described makes sense. I would be the player that you said that plays this too early and goes at the end of the game, what happened? I thought I played the best card. And so definitely a strategic card to play. I do want to follow up with another strategic card that I personally like, and I think it's a good conversation piece for how dealing with Showdown and the chain and when it comes to actions and reactions, and one being the fight or flight card. There is so like when I play cards, right, like, or at least when I was explained, like the great way is to try to like bait removal and stuff like that so that you can play your more impactful characters and they can stay on the board longer. So like the way that I read fight or flight is the ability to kind of like initiate a showdown just to see what you can get out of your opponent in regards to actions or reactions and whatnot. And then, like being able to play this to just withdraw from the battlefield um, without having to deal with anything that has happened there, I think is really neat. It's like a good trick card, right? Especially because it's hidden too. So like that's another thing that I haven't seen much of. I think because I've only played with the trial deck so far, but I think Victor is the only one with one hidden card in it, right?
I'd have to look.
Okay. Yeah. So what deck do you typically play so that way I can
I'm a big fan of Set. I've played a little
Okay.
bit of Jinx. I've tried out Lux.
Okay.
But this card kind of reminds me of the Battlefield Reaver's Row.
Okay.
I like the viewpoint that you said about like kind of using it as like I'm gonna guess and check. But the problem with that one is you can't hide a card at a battlefield you're not at. So if you're challenging a battlefield, you obviously have to pay full cost, but it only costs 2.
Right.
So that's a plus. So you can test the fields and basically force your opponent to play tap out their whatever energy they have left, so that way you can play the cards you actually want to pay. I think that's a really good cost for this card. But then also playing it on a battlefield like in Jinx, this could be really good because her favorite battlefield I think is Reaver's Row, the one where like when you're challenged you can move a unit back to your base.
Mhm.
This is another version of that. Like I know a lot of times when I've played against Jinx, the players will start with that battlefield because it's like, let me get the first round win and then really try and go from there. But this allows you to do that at other battlefields too. So I actually really like that card. I think it's probably if it's slightly undercosted, because another thing to note is when you move a unit from a battlefield using an ability like this, you're not exhausting the unit. That unit stays ready. So you could do this and move it to a battlefield that has gank, that gives your characters ganking, and then do that and conquer and get 2 points for conquering 2 areas. So I think there's a lot of potential with this card, and the fact that you can hide it too, and it only costs 2, I think that's crazy. I think this card's really good.
Yeah, I definitely see this card being usable, and the fact that it's common as well too is just like I do like that in card games in general when there are great utility cards that are accessible to everybody. So it creates more strategic gameplay rather than who can afford like the best outs or best actions in this game. So
What's cool is then you start like when you start playing other decks as well. Like for example, I really want to play Annie, and then having the ability to recycle something like Fight or Fight is gonna be sick, or even Falling Star, right? Like,
see that's something interesting too. So I haven't had a game where I can recall getting through my entire deck before there's a definitive winner. So like on paper, recycling sounds awesome because you're like, great, I'm going to see this card again, except you don't unless you're having like a really good back and forth between like players. I will say in the games I've played, they've been pretty definitive because playing Jinx, it's like you either like win really fast or you struggle to stabilize and then just like eke out your final winning point just by being very strategic. So like I haven't gone even using Vi and doing her ability where you send all or as many cards as you want from your discard to recycle just to pump her. I don't recall a game that I've ever gone through an entire deck. Justin, look like you were reacting. Have you?
Not in other games because I'm still pretty new to TCGs. So correcting one thing, Mark is right. It has to go to the base, so it'd have to be like you hold, move it to base, and then you can move it again, still getting the 2 points. But as far as like recycling goes, there's cards that have that give you the vision ability and that lets you go to the bottom, and then we're starting to see cards that are making you recycle basically your entire battlefield. So that's going to increase the longevity of the game as well, like the physical game you're playing itself. So I think with cards that have vision, there is a possibility you could eventually get there, especially if it gets more tools.
Sure. Yeah, and with a deck size of 39, 40 technically because you have one in play, but like there's like a comfort of typically being able to play with a deck that has 60 cards. So like really narrowing down to like the best 40 cards heading into your first event, I think is pretty cool because you can have max 3 of the same card. So like I think the ratios make sense to where it still allows you to be consistent, but like this card pool is pretty big for the first set.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be really hard to like really narrow down your ratios on what you want to play. And I'm sure through multiple games you'll realize that like maybe I don't need 3 of these. Maybe I can do 2 and I can slot in a tech card. And then you do also get, I think Jack mentioned it while we were doing some recorded content, that it's 8 cards you can put in your sideboard.
I haven't played with sideboards yet, so I'm still in the process of learning the decks and just like making sure I'm comfortable with the rules, so that way when there is an event, I don't have to have any questions.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, I mean, like we would like at least in the Discord, we have conversations about the core rules every day. So just going through and be like, oh wow, we've been playing this wrong. It needs to be this way. Like
I love the rules for this game. Like I kind of like
very clear. Yeah.
So my buddy Jotham, I'm sure you guys, I think you've met him.
Yeah.
Or maybe not, but he's very good with the like understanding of the rules. And one thing we talked about is like how this like comprehensive rules is very spelled out. Like it's long. I don't know if you've read through the whole thing. But you'll have like one thing at the top and it'll jump to the bottom of the page and for like reference, but it's all spelled out in there. So like being able to find it, sure, is it tough? Yeah. But like in the beginning, if you can just keep referring back to those, the game gets like super, I mean, not super easier, but like a lot easier to understand. There are a few things where I'd like the company to go ahead and just like verify. I'm sure they'll do that at some point too. I don't have a specific example off the top of my head, but like we create board states and we're just like, man, I wonder how this interacts with this. And there's a few things that like aren't super clear to me, but I know are probably in there somewhere. But and I know the devs have acknowledged too that they need to respond to a couple of these questions as well. I've seen them post like in the Discord and stuff. So
I mean, like going back to I was looking through all the rules as well, and not even that, just playing it. I mean, I'm very versatile when it came to all these other card games like Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Pokemon. I'm not saying that I never really got super competitive in all those other games outside of Yu-Gi-Oh and Arcana, but this game is intricate, right? Like there's a lot of different mechanics. There's a lot of different things. In my opinion, it's more intricate than any other game I've ever played, right? Like in my opinion, I think it's more intricate in my opinion than Magic. It's more intricate than Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Is intricate, man. Like I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is all about chains, right? And like, but this is, you have a lot going on. I feel like you
could have multiple chains in one singular showdown. Like that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think
because you go like, I'm gonna cut you off, Stefan. So like, and that's something to where I think is going to be very important to really fully understand is what you just said, is how a showdown works, right? When you have somebody that has like we call it Yu-Gi-Oh! Priority, and then here it's called focus, right? So when you're turn player and the focus is on you, you have that priority, so that you have the ability to play your essentially your action first. Then the opponent has, or anyone has the ability to start that chain, right? Your opponent has time to react to it.
It's not just the showdowns either. Like playing certain cards will cause that to happen too.
Yeah, and then after that first action's done, all the chains are done. Then your opponent has the ability to play in action and create new chains, right? So that's interesting because what's really interesting to me is that I don't know. Have you ever played Yu-Gi-Oh! Before?
Very briefly when I was in like middle school.
Okay, perfect. So like for example, in Yu-Gi-Oh, when you're turn player, right? I should rephrase this. When it's your opponent's turn, you don't have the ability to play spell cards or well, now it's a little different, but like spell cards or trap cards from your hand, right? Mm-hmm. It has to be set. So that's when you have the ability to start a chain, right? The reaction. So what's very interesting here is that this is a little different to where you could actually use the resources from your hand, but you have to understand when you can, when you can play them, and it's after your opponent. I think it's really cool how it has Showdown, your focus player that has the ability to play theirs first, start the chain, and then it goes back to the opposing player. I think that's very interesting.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It's super intricate too, especially with how like damage resolves. So you'll have those damaging spells, and that damage sticks until the showdown's done. I know there's a thing that says like cleanup phase, but the damage isn't dealt during the cleanup phase. That's you basically. It's a complicated way of saying like, okay, everything resolves, get those cards off the board.
Yeah.
What's next? Yeah. And until both players pass priority, the showdown doesn't finish. Yeah. Right. So if I deal 3 damage to one of your 5 might characters, and then I'm sending over my traveling merchant so I can draw a card to finish that off, like, it's just so interesting. You know
why it's what's really, so this is where I feel like the individuals are going to really shine. The players are going to really shine in this game are players that have played every card game, because that is how it is in Hearthstone. Hearthstone's very similar to that, even though it's not as intricate, but Hearthstone is essentially the same thing, right? Where like it's like Lorcana, right, Stefan? Where you play Storm, where let's just say you deal 2 damage to a one to like a Diablo, right? Okay. You do it to the it kills the Diablo, but you still draw that card, and Diablo, if it's tapped, you're able to draw a card as well, even though it dealt 2 damage to it. Theoretically, a player may assume that the Diablo is destroyed, but it's not, because it's still all on the right, Stefan? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So like knowing that alone can really, if a player doesn't understand that concept, and they missed out on having that opportunity to they play it and they didn't realize their opponent's going to draw a card, that could change a game state, right? Like, it's important to know. So, anyways, knowing that and being familiar with how it works in other card games as well, I think it's gonna be very important for this game. There's a lot, man.
Yeah, I said to my buddy, I really hope people brush up on the rules and like get enough practice in before the first event, because or they just have like a mass amount of judges on hand, because there's going to be a lot of judge calls, and the timing for this could last a long time with something like that. Like, I know in different card games this type of interaction works differently, but like in this game, if you play a card that draws you a card, you should not draw immediately, because if I defy that card, it's as if that card never got played. It's not like I get to draw and then you pass. You know what I mean? Like, it's you have to be really good about when you're passing priority. Even just like I'm the attacking player, right? So I have priority. Mm-hmm. If I can't look at you and be like, what do you got? I have to be like, I pass priority to you. Like,
that's how Yu-Gi-Oh players, bro. Like for example, right? Like that's how it is in Yu-Gi-Oh. And there's a lot of people that bluff, because what's going to happen is they're going to say, all right, for example, in Yu-Gi-Oh, you go, I'm going to enter battle phase, right? I enter battle phase. Do you have a response? No? Okay, perfect. I'm going to declare an attack. I declare an attack. Response? No. Okay. Damage calculation. Now, the moment you say damage calculation, you cannot activate certain spell cards. There's only one card that you're trying to bait out, and it's a hand trap where you could play from your hand, right? But a lot of players that don't play that one particular hand trap, because it's a very niche deck, right? That would play it. They just skip all those phases, and because of that, there's certain players that do not understand how the little different subsets in one phase there are, right? Like, there's a lot of, there's like, I think in the battle phase in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's like, I could be wrong, 6 different subsets, and it happens so quick that they don't realize it because they don't read the rule book, right? And they can lose you the game, right? So it's just like this, because like I'm even looking at it right here. I'm like, for example, it's cool that what is it? Pillover, right? That's where we're looking at all the cards.
Yeah, Piltover Archive.
Yep. So I'm looking at it right now, and like the first thing I'm looking at is, I'm not really just looking at the my legend, then the rune set, but then it goes down to battlefields. Like a lot, like this is like battlefields are going to be, it's obviously mandatory that you have to play with battlefields, and I don't know any other card game that is mandatory that makes you do that. And like like for example, like Lorcana, you have locations, right? You don't have to play the location if you don't want to. Now that you have to do that, you have to take your deck into you have to the mechanics into consideration, because you get a lot of value. You could get a lot of value by just understanding what battlefield you have at the very moment, and that can determine how you play at the start of the game. It's a lot, man. It's just
that's a really good point. I mean, even breaking that down further, right? Like which battlefield do I play first? You know, and then, okay, do I want to play the battlefield second that I think will give me the best chance of winning, or do I want to save that and try and win? You know what I mean? Like there's so much thought that goes into it. And a lot of that thought is going to be matchup dependent too. Sometimes that's also another thing. I think this game, the play draw disparity is like very minuscule. I don't think you're as affected like you are in a lot of games. And I think that's huge in the decision making as far as like, do I want to go first or second? Okay, it depends on what battlefield I plan on playing, you know, and just the beginning of the game order too, right? You don't know if you're going to win the dice roll. You flip over your battlefields before you even decide who goes first.
Yeah.
So just being able to see those two battlefields is like crazy information, and knowing like what legend your opponent has is huge. And I think the battlefield decision is going to be a lot bigger than what people are expecting in this game. I think the battlefield decision is more influential than like any possible mulligan too, right?
Yeah, and I love that you brought that up. I think that's going to really separate a good player to like a great player. And
from me, the guy's like, I don't know how to decide this.
Yeah, no, right? So like, it's funny that you say that, because like now a new game, I don't know how to really deck build that way, right? Like I mean, I feel like I know how to deck build until I start seeing how others deck build, and like like the four founding fathers of certain archetypes, right? Like in Lorcana, right? Like you start seeing how all you got Ghosty, who makes the Tread Dog, and then I even see how Bivens, when the way he curates his decks, and I'm like, man, I'm just gonna I'll just let them create. I'll let the data come out.
Let them cook,
bro.
Yeah.
Right. I always think I'm onto something, and then I'm always like 2 sets, 3 sets behind, right? So, but anyways, it's interesting, because I want to see how these decks evolve. I can't wait to see that, because I'm starting to look at all of them. It's like,
I really think you're going to be rewarded for the hard work you put in this game. I don't remember who I was saying it to, but one thing that I had brought up is I think the skill gap between like good, better, best is going to be like significantly wider than any like other card game that I've experienced, that a lot of people have experienced. I think with how complex the game is, and how many like you brought up, like the different subsets in each phase there can be, I think the people who put in the work, or who have the like crazy TCG experience, I think they're like super rewarded in this game for sure.
One thing I will say, one of the games I've got a lot of exposure to is One Piece, and I kind of wish I did. I'm gonna explain why. So in One Piece, it's very similar to like One Piece, where you have a legend. There you have I don't know what they call it, but you have that particular, I guess, let me just say legend for that as well, right? And then dependent on that, their life is what they have as far as their life. Like some of them have like 5 cards, so it's like, are you familiar with One Piece, the card game, or no?
I know a little bit. I know about like how you generate resources each turn.
Yeah, how they have you could take the life. Okay, so and it's like Pokemon with the prizes, right? And one thing I never could wrap my head around was how relevant the life was, right? So like in the beginning of the game, there's a lot of players that they want to get a life taken from, because the objective is to hit them when they have no life left, right? So that's how you win the game. Now, same thing here, right? Like, it's for them to get a point. It may be okay. A lot of players maybe say it may be okay just in the beginning. They can get those points in the beginning. It's all right. Like, you want to establish a board first. That's something I want to wrap my head around more. I want to see how a lot of like, I guess some of the really, 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 really skilled players, and obviously there's that one level where you have these world players, right? I want to see like more exposure. I guess how I'll explain it. I want to see how more exposure, how important it is to or not important is for them to gain some sort of points in the beginning, right? Like, I don't know,
for sure.
Not resources on trying to clear guess board.
So Devin, I'm gonna enlighten you a little bit, right? And I forgot the player who told me this, and this was even way before Lorcana. But when I was playing Magic or attempting to learn Magic, they mentioned to me that how do you win in Magic, right? You deplete your opponent's life total to 0, right? So that means that you have a resource, which is your life, that is a scale from 0 to 19 that you can use as a resource just as much as you do as your mana or your other cards. So like a ramp deck, for example, doesn't care that you're scoring early points because they have board wipes and stuff to stabilize the game and control it towards the end. So like, you might be stressed out because someone's 2 points away from winning, but in reality, like that's the last point they'll ever get because you've already stabilized and stuff like that. So that's like, once I wrap my head around that and stop trying to create in my head, like it was called like blowout games, right? Like the only way I can win is if they took no points from me and I won them all, because like you got to be able to like play a game that where that might not happen. So you have to learn how to navigate and use the right removal in a certain point of the game to at least stabilize and win. And once I did that, I noticed I started becoming a much better player because I wasn't fearing losing life. I just, like, it was just part of the game.
Yeah.
If you want to feel that, play set. Like just grind a couple of games on set versus things like Jinx or Victor, and you'll start to see like, oh, okay, they're gonna get to like 5 or 6, but after that, I have cards that are good like on play removal, or cards with so much might they can't just get rid of it with a spell. You know what I mean? And I think that's a deck that you will get exactly what you just said you were looking for.
Okay. Yeah, because I feel like that's very important, because that's gonna gives you the confidence, and just like the confidence, like knowing, okay.
Well, even more than that, it takes the stress off, right? Like when people stress out or like get anxious, that's taking up brain space. You know what I mean? So if it becomes second nature for you, not have to think about any of that, then you're like, oh, they're at 6, shoulder shrug. Let me focus on the game. It's like a peaceful place to be.
It's like, for example, so in League, right? So I main Cassidon, right? And Kill. Okay. So I know, like, but when I say I main Cassidon, like I'm super
scale.
I'm so cocky with him, right? So I know, I'm like, all right, let them. They can harass me levels 1 through, like, once I hit 6, it's game over. Like,
once you hit 11.
Oh yeah, 11. Yeah. Oh yeah,
it's cooking.
Yeah, it's cooking. So it's like I guess it's the same thing, right? But you wouldn't know that, and like I wouldn't get that. There's just that intuition I have, and it's all about reps, right? I don't know how many hours I have playing Cassidon, or whatever the case may be. The same thing with the deck, right?
Sure.
I don't know. The more reps you have, the more prepared you are, and knowing, exposure to other decks. It's obviously it's about preparation, right? So it goes without saying, but like, I guess it's gonna be the same concept here, right? Like,
oh, for sure.
But
I'd argue say it's even more complicated too, just given the game's nature.
Yeah.
Well, imagine like, so I've seen a lot of people that are in the Lorcana space that are really interested in playing Riftbound, and some of them I recall them saying that this is their first TCG. So I mean, you're one, but at least you understand already, right? What comes with playing a game that requires reaction, right? Because at least in Lorcana, not now, at least, I don't know in the future if they'll ever introduce instant speed or reaction or the ability to react and stuff like that. But being able to, that's a completely different way to play. Like, you can't just assume you're gonna have, here's my 1 3 5 or 2 4 6 curve, I'll play these cards out, no problem, right? You have to think about, okay, am I willing to lose my 4-cost character because they might have the removal just so I can make sure my 6-cost character lands. So it's things like that will be a little bit newer for players who are not used to instant, or like, again, just the chain and stuff like that. And
dude, the amount of triggers.
Yeah, the triggers as well. Yeah, and this is set 1. Do you remember Lorcana set 1? Did you play Lorcana set 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so like very combat driven, like nothing crazy, and like just now set 8, right? We're starting to see some really cool interaction stuff like that, right? Riftbound first set out the gate has some crazy card interactions.
Crazy.
It is. I mean, it goes back to what I said earlier about like needing a lot of judges on hand. Now, I say that loosely because you look at Riot's track record with like live events, and I have a lot of faith. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
So I'd like to think that they have a plan for that, because like not everyone's in the same position as me, where I have like my buddy Jotham who can read these rules and understand them super easily because he's played years and years and years of TCGs, just like my buddy Dakota, who is on like the MTG Pro circuit. I have these guys who I get to bounce at, and like I'll do something, they'll explain it to me, and then it'll stick, right? But if you were like handing me those comprehensive rules and you're like, hey, read this, learn this game, I'd be like, what is going on? I was like, I have no idea what's happening.
So, to add to what you just said, bro, I'm so blessed that I get to talk to these guys every day at the shop, right? Now we have Stefan, we have Ray, we have Jack, and I'm telling you, they're
Jack's
so
a machine.
He's a machine, bro.
Jack is our Jotham, probably.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, you know what's cooler?
I'd be lost without people like that.
Yeah, so what's even cooler is the fact that you have resources like you said, your buddy Dakota who played on the circuits for, and same thing with like we have, like, for example, I think that in my opinion, Yu-Gi-Oh could be one of the hardest games ever, like to achieve, worlds and like these bigger events and like win them, right? And we have those on our store. We have our sponsor players or world players, right? Like for Yu-Gi-Oh too. So having to be able to pick their brains and in every single, even Hector has won major Yu-Gi-Oh events in the past, right? So he's seen how these card games evolved and he's rode the wave with them, right? So being able to pick their brains on all the different ideologies and concepts, and they all come together, right? It's so important. So I couldn't even imagine just being, just a player that doesn't have this exposure and trying to compete against, some of the best. It can be tough, right? So
I agree.
Good. It's good balance. I love bouncing ideas off of Zach, Hector, Jack, Ray, like even with Lorcana, stuff like that. They just
even Zach, bro, like it's so cool. Like the thought process is crazy.
Yeah, and that'll help you get reps into just having, I mean, even aside from people who understand the game, people to play the game with properly is super important. And I'm super looking forward to the first events. Like I said, I have a lot of faith in Riot because I've seen what they've done with their esports. And even if like a fourth of that transition into the TCG space, I think we're in for a really good time.
I remember when we were talking on our last podcast, and I said we were talking about Ravensburger and Disney, and we're saying how the experience of Worlds was, and how I said I found it crazy how they wouldn't they didn't plan out for space or whatever. And then someone in the comments was like, it's Disney, they don't care about their card game, and pretty much alluding to the fact that like when it comes to Disney, they're such a big character that the revenues that TCG make is nothing, right? Like that's not their main focus. So I guess what to how that correlates to this, and it's all going to come together. The fact is that the TCGs is a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? Like any company, any company that don't look at that and say I want to capture some of that market share is like I refuse to believe that, right? Because as a business owner, right? So the point is I'm trying to say is there's no way they don't sit there and look at this as an opportunity. And what I find interesting is like you see how big league is, you see how many players they have, and how it's growing year after year, and how it still maintains at the top of the top when it comes to an online game. Do they think that a lot of their players are actually going to transition to the card game? And if so, how many of those players actually played a card game before? And if so, like how are they going to? If they haven't, like how are they going to? I don't know. Like for somebody that's never played a card game before to get into this is going to be there's a barrier to entry. That's for sure.
I don't know. I'm talking about like potential for being for success in the game, let's say. I think big sponsors come out, right? So you'll see like pro soccer teams or like, I don't know, big name sponsors sponsor these esports teams, right? I think it's going to transition to the TCG space. I think there's a lot of
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going back to like the Disney umbrella, like this is the Disney umbrella. Ravensburger's over here. It is the Disney IP, but it's not like, oh, Disney doesn't care about its game. Disney's not, it's not paid by Disney. This is a Ravensburger company running this. Disney just says, pay me for the license. Here are the rules. If you mess up, we're going to come get you. You know what I mean? This is underneath the Riot umbrella.
Okay.
Like this is, if you like go to their website and you like look at jobs, right? Riftbound falls right next to the League of Legends.
Okay.
Esports. So I think that's the difference. And for a company to have the experience they have, and like you said, in the multi-billion-dollar industry here, it'd be silly not to take the event knowledge that they have and transition that into the TCG space too.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, they just have the strong head start and they have the infrastructure. So there's no reason why their big event is called the MSI, right? Which is coming up. So there's no reason.
I think it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening as we speak. Yeah.
Right. So there's no reason why we wouldn't see very similar to like how Pokemon does, right? So they'll have their tournaments and then they have whatever is they're playing on the Switch, and then Pokemon Go and the card game. So like there's going to be multiple tournaments that they can run for all of their different projects, like even their upcoming, like their fighting game, right? Like I think that's the direction they're heading in, and I think the future of competitive gaming is multifaceted. And I personally, I love the non-electronic forms of it because like I'm in front of a computer all day for work. So right, so like when I got into board gaming and card games, it was mainly as a break to like give my brain a break and my eyes a break from the screen. So like I really hope that these card games, the companies that create them, still support like in-person events, like even like 5-10 years from now, right? That still is a pillar of their offering. Just because it, like there's a difference when I played Magic Arena and I was like, I don't like this versus like playing Magic in person with someone that like, because it you can't recreate that.
Dude, totally different.
Yeah.
You get an entirely new like aspect of the game too. Yeah. Like one of the reasons I like playing card games is because I like reading the person across from
me. Bluffing is a thing and stuff like that. Yeah. So like it's that like you lose that, like the best you can get is their reaction time to responses, right? If they had enough time, if the rope is burning, that means they have something. So now in the future there is something they can respond with. But in person, like I'm generally a nice person. I don't like seeing my opponents stressed out, but if I see them stressed out, I know they're in a bad spot, so I can be a little bit more aggressive. Versus, and like I'm the same way too, right? Like everybody, they'll hand shuffle a lot. There's tells, and like those parts are really critical when trying to win that you don't experience when you're playing a digital client version of the card game.
Yeah,
I agree.
But regardless, I'm excited for the future of Riftbound and the competitive scene. Justin, what are you guys doing up there? Anybody hosting anything on release? I know that we've been talking ourselves about doing a starter deck tournament, just kind of even the playing field. If nothing is happening in your area, obviously I'd love to invite you and your friends to come down and play in our event. And then obviously you've been to our Lorcana events, keep coming, right? So we're obviously doing something right, and we want to do the same thing for Riftbound and all of our other games. So we'd love to, if nothing's going on over there, we'd love to invite you and your friends to come down and I'm still trying to find like a fun, catchy thing to like say like to play Riftbound. Like I know like Welcome Summoners is so boring. It's already from the game. So I'm like, you guys ready to summon? Like I'll find something, but
we have 3 months to work on it. But as far as events in this area, we're doing a Learn to Play event at Coliseum of Comics in Kissimmee. That's the sponsor for my team, Team Rebirth. Shout out, baby. Let's go. But it's on the 17th. It's actually this week. That's one of the things we're doing. But for release, I don't know that we've announced anything. To prep a little bit before the game comes out. Actually, Jotham, he's so funny. This guy, he comes over one day and he's like, look what I did. And he like opened up his box and he like printed out a bunch of proxies. So the way he explained it to me, he prints it on sticker paper, which he tested like 4 different kinds of sticker paper. Then he puts that on cardstock. He tested 3 different kinds of cardstock, and then he measures and cuts each one. And then he has a corner clipper, and we go through and clip the corner. So we've been making proxy decks for like
I love this
area.
Yo, I love that.
Well, we've been selling them as like a pretty decent rate just because they're time consuming, but we sell them to like local players and even a couple stores who want to like have decks on hand for people to use. But yeah, that's something we're doing to just prep. And I'm looking forward to what events. I'm sure there will be. I know a lot of stores are doing or getting Riftbound. I don't know that they've announced events yet because I don't know if they like know their allocations and all that jazz. But Jotham's so funny when it comes to this stuff. He's dedicated. He did different foiling. He printed foils too, and like changed the foiling for the rarities. I'm like, every time he comes over, he shows me something new, and I'm like, dude, you're insane. Like,
right, I'm coming over to the next playtest night.
I love the passion.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Maybe the next one after that.
Okay.
But yeah, with that being said, we're at our time right now. I wanted to give you guys some time for some last minute thoughts, some shout outs. Justin, we'll start with you.
Shout out to the Team Rebirth. That's big in Lorcana, and we're getting into Riftbound. If anyone wants to see Riftbound gameplay, I will be streaming. We do occasional streams. I think we're going to do one tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken. Twitch.tv/TheDizDude. The DizDude on everything, so pretty easy to find. Give us a follow, and we're going to try and come out with some more Lorcana podcast episodes ourselves on Between Two Turns, a Disney Lorcana podcast.
Yeah, I love that name.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
I was pretty proud of it.
I remember that. No, I remember that. Like Between Two Ferns. Like I remember I said that to someone. I don't know if I said who I said it to. I was like, oh, it was a while ago, whatever. But
they definitely Justin kills it with the names. Like,
the
next time we come up with something, an idea, I'm like, we got to bring Justin in. He's the name guy.
Yeah, and ChatGPT. He's gonna ask.
Yeah. There you go. That's all I got. But thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem. Awesome. What about you, Devin?
Well, first and foremost, I want to shout out everyone that's been everyone that was watching and continuously watch us talk this nonsense. Gives us something to do. Gives me something to do on these Thursday nights, right? Shout out to Stefan, of course, and the whole team. Shout out to all of the employees at the shop right now. And shout out to the community, man. Lorcana, Riftbound, every community, man. Like it gives us something to look forward to every day. We love it, and we love y'all, man. Without you guys, we're irrelevant, right? So super blessed to have everyone here.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Yeah, and then for me, I'd love to, obviously shout out, thank you again for SSG for providing us the opportunity to be able to continue producing not only the podcast, but the premier events that they run. We continue to do the production on behalf of the South Florida Lorcana Network. And us two over there are getting very heavy into Riftbound. So the name doesn't exactly flow too well. So we're going to figure something out, but whether it's Lorcana, Riftbound, we're constantly talking about card games. We actually even got a couple of guys in one of the voice chats they're playing League right now. But they play Shadover. Brian from Freedom Gaming, he's streaming right now.
League?
Yeah.
Tell Brian to add us. We're all everyone's getting really into League. Listen, I've been playing League the last 48 hours nonstop.
Nice. But yeah, not only League, but also Shadowverse. So and honestly, if there's a game and it's card related, you'll see us talking about it, playing it there. So if you're interested, you can see us on socials or ask any of us for an invite. We'll get you in. But with that being said, thanks again for joining us on our 12th episode of the Southside Experience.